My friends, there is a saying, words once spoken can never be taken back. Just like an arrow once released from the bow, it cannot return. When life wounds us, when someone's actions pierce our heart, our first impulse is often to strike back with words, sharp, cutting, and unforgiving. But pause for a moment and reflect. Do those words heal us, or do they deepen the wound? Do they make us lighter, or do they burden us with regret? When hurt comes to us, and it surely will, our greatest test is not how we feel, but how we respond. In that sacred pause before words leave our lips, there lies either the destruction of peace or the protection of our dignity. The wise learn to master that moment, and in that mastery lies true strength. Let us explore together how we can hold back our words when hurt finds us, and how silence can sometimes become the voice of God guiding us towards growth, peace, and wisdom. When hurt strikes, silence is not weakness, it is protection. Most people misunderstand silence and think that not speaking means you are defeated or that you are suppressing your emotions. But silence, when chosen consciously, is a shield that guards the dignity of the soul. It is like an umbrella in the rain. It does not stop the storm, but it keeps you safe from being drenched in unnecessary suffering. Think of how many times you have regretted words spoken in anger. In the heat of the moment, the words feel powerful. They feel like weapons, they feel like justice. But a few hours later, when the storm inside settles, those same words feel like chains around your neck. You wish you could take them back, but they have already pierced someone else's heart. Silence saves you from that regret. It preserves your peace and your relationships in ways anger never can. Imagine for a moment you are driving on a busy road. Someone suddenly cuts you off recklessly. Your heart starts beating fast, your hands tighten on the steering wheel, and your mind floods with anger. Instantly, your mouth wants to release harsh words, your horn wants to scream louder than your voice. But ask yourself, will shouting make that driver more careful? Will your words fix the situation, or will they just poison your own peace? In that moment, silence becomes your strength. By holding back, you keep your dignity intact. You allow the storm to pass without letting it carry you away. Life often places us in situations where people throw words at us that sting like arrows. A colleague may insult you at work. A friend may betray your trust. Or even a loved one may speak carelessly in a way that hurts deeply. The immediate urge is to retaliate, to defend, to fire backwards, even sharper than theirs. But silence in such moments is not weakness, it is wisdom. When you stay silent, you are not surrendering to them. You are surrendering to God's timing. You are saying, I will not let their words decide my response. I will wait until my heart is calm, until wisdom speaks louder than hurt. This is the protection silence gives. Let's think of nature. When lightning strikes, the tree does not shout back. It bends, it sways, it sometimes even loses a branch, but it does not scream. And yet, that same tree stands tall again when the storm passes. Our lives are like that tree. Hurt may strike us suddenly like lightning, but silence is what allows us to bend without breaking, to lose something without losing ourselves completely. Silence gives us the resilience to rise again. Silence also protects relationships. Think of a family dinner where tensions rise. Someone says something sarcastic, someone else replies with a sharper remark, and suddenly the whole atmosphere becomes heavy with anger. One person choosing silence in that moment can save the entire family from a night of bitterness. That one act of restraint creates a space where emotions can cool down. Later, conversations can be had with understanding rather than rage. Silence is not the absence of words, it is the presence of patience. And silence protects your inner world. Words spoken in anger don't only hurt others, they poison your own heart. Every harsh word you release in a heated moment echoes back in your mind later. But when you hold back, you keep your inner garden clean. Silence is like fencing around your soul, it keeps the weeds of bitterness from growing. Remember, silence is not about suppressing emotions, it is about channeling them wisely. It is about taking a deep breath, closing your eyes for a moment, and reminding yourself that not every battle deserves your sword. Some battles are won not by fighting, but by refusing to fight. And that is not cowardice, that is divine strength. God has given us the power to speak, but also the wisdom to choose when not to. Silence, in that sense, is not empty. It is filled with the strength of restraint, the wisdom of patience, and the guidance of God. When we practice silence in moments of hurt, we are not avoiding reality. We are elevating ourselves above it. We are protecting our peace, our dignity, and our relationships. Silence is the soul's shield, and when used wisely, it transforms pain into power, wounds into wisdom, and conflict into calm. The moment we stop ourselves from reacting, something sacred happens. In that brief pause, when our lips are sealed and our mind is trembling with hurt, there is an opening for God's voice to be heard. Many times, life is so noisy with anger, arguments, and constant reactions that we cannot hear the gentle whisper of divine wisdom. But when we hold back, when we choose not to pour out our pain through harsh words, we create space. That space is not empty, it is filled with guidance, filled with strength, filled with the voice of God reminding us that patience will always bring greater clarity than impulsiveness. Think of a glass of muddy water. When it is shaken, the mud swirls around and makes everything cloudy. But if the glass is placed down and left undisturbed, the mud slowly settles at the bottom and the water becomes clear. The human mind works the same way. When hurt stirs our emotions, our inner world becomes cloudy. We can't think straight, we can't see the truth, and we often mistake our pain for wisdom. But when we pause and remain silent, the emotional mud settles. Slowly clarity begins to return, and in that clarity, God speaks. This pause is not weakness, it is awareness. Imagine a heated argument at work. A colleague falsely blames you for something. Your heart burns, your mouth wants to defend, and your pride demands to fight back immediately. But if you take a breath, if you hold back your words, in that pause you may realize something. Perhaps your colleague is lashing out because of their own stress, their own insecurity. God's whisper in the pause might tell you, their anger is not about you, it is about them. That realization changes everything. Instead of escalating the conflict, you may choose to address the issue later with calmness or even forgive silently. Without the pause, without listening to that divine guidance, the situation could have exploded into something regrettable. God's voice is not always loud, it is subtle. It is like a soft breeze in the middle of a storm. If we are too busy shouting, we cannot feel it. But when we pause, we sense it. Have you noticed how many times in life, after an argument, you later regret not listening to your inner voice? That inner voice was God trying to guide you, but anger blocked it. The pause opens the gate for that voice to flow in. Silence in the pause is also an act of surrender. When you hold back from reacting, you are saying to God, I trust you more than I trust my anger. I believe your guidance will show me a better way than my emotions will. And God always rewards that trust. You may discover solutions you never imagined, words that heal instead of hurt, or sometimes the realization that not everything even needs a response. The pause becomes the doorway to wisdom. Let's take an everyday example. Someone criticizes you unfairly in public. Instantly, your pride is hurt. The natural reaction is to fire back, to prove them wrong, to defend your image. But if you pause, if you silently let those words pass without immediate reply, something magical happens. That pause may reveal to you that reacting in public will only create drama. It may remind you that your worth does not depend on someone else's opinion. It may even show you that sometimes silence itself is the most powerful answer. God's wisdom is often hidden inside that single moment of stillness. The pause also helps us distinguish between what deserves our energy and what does not. Without it, we waste words on battles that don't matter. With it, we conserve our energy for what truly does. Have you ever noticed how children sometimes provoke one another, throwing little insults to get a reaction? The one who ignores, who pauses before responding, becomes the stronger one. The one who reacts loses control. Adults are no different. Life tests us through people's words, through misunderstandings, through moments of hurt. God's voice in the pause tells us which ones to let go and which ones to address later with maturity. It takes courage to pause. It takes faith to remain silent when your ego is screaming to defend itself. But in that silence, you allow something far greater than your ego to take control. You allow God to guide your heart. And that guidance never fails. It leads to peace, to deeper understanding, and to the kind of strength that does not shout but shines. So when hurt comes, remember the pause is not just the absence of speech. It is the presence of God's wisdom. It is the space where your emotions lose power and your soul gains clarity. It is where you stop fighting the noise outside and start listening to the calm voice within. The next time you feel anger rising, take that sacred pause and listen closely. God may be speaking to you in that very silence, guiding you toward a response that will not only protect your peace, but also transform the situation in ways your anger never could. Our words are not just sounds, they are seeds. Each word we speak carries a power far greater than we imagine. Some words are like water. They nourish, they heal, they bring life to the heart of the one who hears them. Other words are like fire. They burn, they scar, they destroy trust and peace. When hurt finds us, the temptation to throw fire with our tongue is strong. In those moments, our silence is what protects us. But beyond silence lies an even greater truth. When we finally do choose to speak, we must be aware that our words can either build or break, heal or harm, inspire or wound. The choice is always in our hands. Think for a moment about a time someone said something to you that lifted your entire spirit. Maybe a teacher once told you, "You have great potential," or a friend said, "I believe in you," or even a stranger smiled and spoke kindly when you were feeling invisible. Those words may have been small to them, but for you, they became unforgettable. They were seeds of hope planted in your heart, and long after, they kept growing into confidence, courage, and joy. Now think of the opposite. Think of a time someone insulted you, mocked you, or said something careless that made you question your worth. Those words too became seeds. But instead of hope, they planted insecurity, doubt, and pain. They may still echo inside you today. This is the power of words. They do not disappear after they are spoken. They live inside hearts, shaping emotions, decisions, and even the way people see themselves. That is why when hurt comes, holding back our words is so important. If we release them in anger, we may plant seeds of bitterness in someone else's heart that could last a lifetime. If we choose our words with patience, we may plant seeds of healing that will bless both them and us. Take an example from daily life, a heated argument between spouses. The husband, feeling hurt, says something sharp. The wife, without pausing, replies with words even sharper. Back and forth they go until the atmosphere is filled with pain. Both of them know deep down that they don't mean those words. But once spoken, those words dig deep wounds. Later apologies may soothe, but the scars remain. Now imagine if just one of them had paused, remembered the weight of words, and chosen silence until emotions settled. The storm would have passed, and the words spoken later could have been words of understanding rather than attack. The difference between peace and pain lies in the words chosen in moments of hurt. Even at work, words play a huge role. A leader can inspire loyalty with kind words or break the spirit of a team with constant criticism. A colleague can build harmony with encouragement or create hostility with gossip. In every setting, words either build bridges or burn them. Think about this: the bridges of trust in any relationship, family, friends, work, society, are built plank by plank with words. Every kind word adds strength to the bridge. Every harsh word weakens it. Once destroyed, that bridge takes years to rebuild, if it can be rebuilt at all. And what about the words we speak to ourselves? When hurt finds us, sometimes we don't just speak harsh words to others, we speak them inwardly. We tell ourselves, I am worthless, I am not good enough, or I will never succeed. These self-directed words are also seeds, and if we repeat them, they grow into weeds that choke our confidence. But if in moments of hurt we pause and instead whisper to ourselves, this pain will pass, or I am guided by God, I am stronger than this, then those words become seeds of resilience and hope. Our own hearts too need healing words, not destructive ones. There is an old saying, before you speak, let your words pass through 3 gates. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? Imagine how different our world would be if we all paused to test our words through these gates. Many arguments would never begin. Many relationships would never break. Many hearts would never bleed. Because truth heals, kindness heals, and necessary words bring clarity rather than confusion. When hurt finds us, we stand at a crossroads. One road leads to destructive words that may satisfy our anger in the moment, but leave lasting damage. The other road leads to healing words or even silence that may require more effort, but leave a legacy of peace. Which road we take defines not only the moment, but the memory. People will forget many things we do, but they rarely forget how our words made them feel. So let us never underestimate the power hidden in a single sentence, a single phrase, even a single word. To someone in pain, one kind word may be the rope that pulls them out of despair. To someone who trusts you, one careless word may be the knife that cuts them deeply. Our